Yo, what's up? I want to talk about some VR today, so here we go. I just recently upgraded from an Oculus Rift CV1 to a Quest 2, and after dropping the hefty 300 smackers on the headset, I was on the hunt for some good free games. There's this one I've been playing that is literally like nothing else I've ever played in VR before. Before I get to the actual game though, I want to talk about the Quest itself real quick. Over the last 3 years of owning a VR headset and playing a ton of different games, my biggest gripe has always been with play space and tracking. The original Rift required a third sensor to be placed somewhere in your room for you to be able to do room scale VR, which basically means the VR where you can turn around in full 360 degrees. And if you only had the two sensors that the Rift came with, you were stuck with forward facing VR only, meaning that if your body turned around fully or if you blocked any of the controllers or anything like that, you would lose the controller and it would go floating away or flying away and you just wouldn't be able to play your game very well. Two sensors worked fine with most games though, but the game I'm going to talk about today never would have worked on the regular Rift. So now in the year of 2020, Oculus has a line of headsets called the Quest. So there's the Quest 1 and the Quest 2. The Quest pretty much resolves all the tracking issues the original Rift had by introducing inside-out tracking. Inside-out tracking pretty much means that the headset itself has the sensors, and the headset tracks the room around you and where your hands are, instead of pointing sensors at you to track the headset itself. It works way better than the regular old sensor setup. This tracking method is what makes T for God so good. T for God is a shooter roguelite, meaning that the levels are generated randomly every time you play, and that you lose your progress upon death, basically making it different every time. Right now it's only available on SideQuest, which means you need to sideload it onto your headset using a program on your computer. It really isn't as hard as it sounds, and it's definitely worth it to play this game. You might have been watching the gameplay in the background and thinking it kind of looks like ass. Like, it does look like a PS1 game. It's not very technologically insane, especially compared to games like The Climb. But T for God is special because it's the only game, as far as I know, that generates the levels based on the exact size of your play space. There are no controls for movement at all in this game. The thumbsticks don't move you around, they don't turn the camera or anything. It's all done in real time with your real life body. The game uses what the developers call Euclidean orbifolds, which basically just means impossible spaces, to generate the levels that feel large and winding, all while in reality you're just running around in circles in your bedroom. You'll see hallways that look like they point directly to each other, but looking through the different doorways lead to totally different areas. One could maybe be an elevator, or one could turn around into itself but lead you to a totally different space. It's pretty crazy. The game's atmosphere is also fantastic while you're walking around in these weird spaces. According to the website, it's basically a dystopian future where humanity colonizes a bunch of planets and everything is controlled by something called God Emperor, which I think is this big tower thing with the red line, but I'm not super sure. There are a few bits and pieces of visual storytelling throughout the game in the environments. Sometimes you'll enter areas with trains blazing through and then turrets everywhere. You'll walk out onto a tower and get to look around at the circuit board-esque city. And playing alone can actually be kind of spooky too. There's this sort of feeling that you're being watched the whole time. You'll be walking through a silent hallway and then hear robots making noises on the other side of the walls and stuff, and you just don't know where they are. Which leads me to the only NPCs in this whole game are just robots. Some of the robots are nice. The little gray ones don't do anything. They don't attack you. They just kind of stand there and wait while they presumably wait to get back to work or do whatever their job is. The real ones you got to worry about are the red guys and then these ceiling turrets that you see everywhere. The red guys have guns and they'll shoot you. Some of them don't have guns. They just shoot electricity at you. And they're all just standing there waiting for you menacingly. You'll just find them in random corners and waiting for you in elevators and stuff. You aren't defenseless in this game. It does give you two guns. The controls are kind of confusing at first, especially if you're used to regular VR games. But once you get used to them, they're pretty good. I'll never get tired of this little animation. Every time you're done using a gun, the little arm comes out and takes it from you. It just looks so cool. You can also just punch and smack stuff and push stuff over if that's more your style. You can pick up the little enemies, like the little spider guys. You can pick them up, press the button on their head, and they'll go blow up on somebody. The little red dogs will go electrocute stuff for you. I still haven't figured out how to use this grenade bug thing, but it's still fun to pick them up and throw them around. Another sick thing about this game is that it seems like pretty much any play space will work for it as long as you have a little bit of room to walk around. The first time I tried it when I was visiting at my parents' house, we had a large Guardian set up in their living room, and we had long hallways and big rooms to walk around in, and it was super immersive. And when I got back home to my actual play space in my bedroom, I wasn't very confident that I'd be able to play it. And when I turned the game on for the first time, it did tell me that my play space was too small, but I was still like, whatever, I'll try it. And it worked pretty well. It didn't have any problem generating the map or anything. I was still able to walk around and step into elevators. The gameplay you're seeing right now is set up just in my bedroom, just the small, I'd say probably like 3x5 space. So it's not a ton of room to walk around, but it is enough for the game to work with. This also brings me to my next topic, which is watching other people play T for God. VR is already perfect for social situations, since watching other people try new VR games is almost as fun as trying them for yourself, and T for God is absolutely perfect for that. Like I was saying earlier, the game can even be kind of scary, especially for new people to VR. I still find myself surprised by robots sometimes, just like in this clip here. Physically walking around to play the game also helps for people who get motion sickness. My dad loves VR almost as much as I do, but unfortunately he gets motion sick really easily while playing VR games, but this one's perfect. The only thing that might give you a little bit of motion sickness is the elevators in the game. After my dad was done with his play session, all he would talk about is getting his own Quest in the future. Personally, I feel like T for God is the perfect game setup for the Quest hardware, even if it's an unfinished tech demo at the moment. If you have a Quest, you should really think about trying it, and it really isn't that hard to sideload games onto the Quest. And I can't wait to see how this game turns out in the future. You should 100% try it, especially since it's free. If you guys want to see more videos about VR from me, and since I love talking about VR, I'd love to do it, just let me know in the comments. It's just hard to find inspiration to make VR videos sometimes. It's a little bit difficult to set it up for the Quest. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.
What's the point of the land that I till? Take it all but leave the windmill. Need that spark to keep up my will, to make something that someone can feel, to make myself a tad bit more real, to close the cuts and make sure they seal. But I'm the worst, I pick and they peel. Critics come and they fade away, just like you and me do today. But I'm the worst cause I hate what I say. Don't critique, I let that shit weigh. Hope that I find my peace one day. Seems like it's been on a delay, been at the bottom of a long stairway, been a lead